welcome to chainsaw use and maintenance at the Texas City Fire Department. Here is your outline, everyone. I'm going to hand it out.
Thank you so much.
We're just going to go over the use and maintenance of a chainsaw. There's some pictures of a K12 and other equipment in there, but we're going to focus on the chainsaw today. I'm going to knock this PowerPoint out real quick, and then we're going to do some practical exercises of how to clean and maintain and properly set all your adjustments on a chainsaw. So the first one is just going to go over what the differences in the saws and learn about what PPE we're going to need and use. A lot of this stuff is set up for the forestry industry, but in the fire world, we're going to use all of our bunker gear, our heavy gloves, heavy extrication gloves, our face shields. So after that, we're going to go over the parts of the chainsaw and then talk more about how to maintain those and troubleshoot any problems that you might have with them. So this is the basic safety guidelines: hard hat or helmet, our fire helmet, eye protection. You should use safety glasses, which we have in every truck, along with your face shield. Obviously, if we're going to be cutting into a smoke-filled environment, we're going to have to be on our SCBA, breathing air. This has chaps and boots. That's going to be our bunker pants, bunker jacket, our fire boots. We'll cover all these things the same way they do. So then just want to make sure before you start cutting, you look around that you're clear of everything. Make sure nobody's close enough to you. Just do your overall area. Everyone is a safety officer, so if you see something that should be stopped, then you need to pull the whistle on that one. No arguing. If someone says stop, you turn it off. If you don't feel comfortable with a cut, then you need to shut it down. So here's a couple types of the saws. We have the regular chainsaw. This is what they call a circular saw, or a K12. K12 is a brand name. These saws in the video are in these slides are Husqvarna. We carry Stihl chainsaws, MS 462C with a 20-inch bar on them, with the rescue carbide tip chains. We're going to go over this training another day for the K12. That's mainly just used for long trench cuts and cutting metal with it. So the main part of the saw is the power head, which is the motor. The chain goes around there. The bar is what the chain rides on. Excuse me. You have the throttle. It's in the handle. Chain brake, which is a safety device that you can lock the chain out and is also supposed to lock back if the saw kicks back at you unintentionally. Bar nuts, these are the ones that you use to loosen and tighten when you're adjusting your chain tension. Other parts of the saw are the gas tank, oil tank, spark plug, exhaust, the on-off, choke, and the air filter, which are all parts of an inspection and maintenance. Carburetor, throttle lock, pull cord, tightening, chain tightening tensioner, make, model, serial number, and inventory number. All those numbers are important when you go to order replacement parts or correct maintenance. Equipment such as spark plugs or bar oil. So this is going to be your pull cord. How you start this saw. That's the air filter. This is your carburetor. This is your spark plug. This device here, this Husqvarna, has a compression release, which makes it an easier start. Less stress on the motor when you go to start them. This is the choke lever, and each manufacturer of chainsaws has their own different version of how you pull a choke, where it needs to be set. You know, on a cold start, you want to have your choke pulled all the way out. When it's not cold, you can start it off at half choke. And this is the handle that you grab when you're making your cuts. All fuel in these saws currently is a 50-to-1 mix. We use True Fuel here at Texas City. That's outlined in SOG 2341. Along with we use steel chainsaws, so we only use steel bar oil as manufacturer guidelines state. Here is the chain brake again. That's a device that's meant to lock it out so you can safely move the saw, walk with the saw, go up a ladder with it. And it's also designed to, if you're cutting into something and the saw kicks back at you, it's meant to lock that out so the saw will stop, so the blade will stop turning. This is also a throttle safety device. If you let go of this, the motor will die and stop running. This is your normal throttle. Pull it in, it gives it more gas, it makes the chain go faster. And there's the pull cord. This is an up close picture of the inside of the saw. This is your chain right here. This is the adjuster. And those bar nuts we talked about earlier, you have to loosen those up. And then you will either screw this in or screw this out, which moves the bar in and out, which creates your tension. Because as we all know, metal expands when it gets hot. So you have to make sure that the tension on the chain is correct, otherwise the chain will fall off the bar and the saw will stop cutting. This Husqvarna and our K12 circular saws have the compression relief button on, which makes an easy start. Again, these are the bar nuts used for adjusting the saw only, and that's the chain brake again, which is the safety feature. So this is a carbide tip chain, and you can tell once we go to the other slide the difference between this and like a regular wood cutting chain. Carbide tip chains are, you cannot sharpen them, because once you have went through the carbide tip part of it, you've lost the hardness of the bit. So these chains are one-time use only. They last a long time, but you can't resharpen them because you can't retemper the metal in there. See the regular chainsaw cut, it just has like the one tooth in there. That can be resharpened and reused because the metal tension still stays hard. This is a circular saw blade. Like I said, we're going to briefly touch on it. It's a carbide tip, hardened steel tip as well for cutting metal. This is an old fuel can. All of ours, I said, we use True Fuel. This is a generic bar oil, which we have all of ours outlined in our SOG on what the correct bar oil and 50-to-1 fuel mix is. These are nice cases that you can put in these saws which protect them. We do not currently have that due to budgetary constraints. Some tips here: always keep your saw in a state of readiness, which you should do every single day. Keep the chain sharp. Make sure the gas is topped off. Make sure you don't have any oil or anything that can attract the extra dirt. This is a picture of the bar with the outer cover off of it. This says start saws during weekly and monthly truck checks. You should be, because of the way our shift rotates, we should be starting that saw every 3 days. Especially if the saw gets used, it needs to be cleaned. The chain needs to be rechecked for tension and needs to be started and filled up with fuel and bar oil. If the saw won't start, the first thing you want to do is pull a cold choke, start it, and then if that doesn't work, well, the first step you should do is make sure there's fuel in it. Make sure it's the correct fuel in it. And then you pull your cold choke and try to start it. If that doesn't work, you push your choke in, start it again. And if it still doesn't start, then you're going to have to pull the spark plug out and make sure that it's not fouled, what they call fouled, which means there's too much gas on the plug, not allowing it to spark. Troubleshooting about the saw not cutting. The chain is dull, the chain is on backwards. That happens more frequently than you would think, because you can put the chainsaw chain on backwards. If the chain is not getting any oil in it, or there's no bar oil in it, it can dull it extremely fast, making it not cut as well. Also, if the chain isn't spinning, you'll make sure that the brake is off. So a recap of all that stuff.
Fucking hide this shit.
Gotta make sure that you use the correct PPE and the different types of saws.
Y'all finally feed Evie?
Are there any questions before I start the YouTube video?
My bad.
Thank you, everyone. Now we're going to go into the practical part and move on forward from there. The end.
Hey!